Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very important session. As WISE, we are happy to have you on board. This is our first training of the year. We are very excited about it, and we are so happy to have you on board. We're just going to give ourselves like 3 more minutes. We allow some more people to be admitted, and then we can start. But as we wait for them, I just wish to take this opportunity to appreciate all of you for taking your time to be with us, for taking your time to just want to see what we have in store for you. So, karibuni sana. As you can see, projected is who we are as women in safety excellence. We are an association of women in security, and we have a very clear vision to foster a powerful, trusted community of influential women in safety and security. And we are saying this because for us to be influential, we have to be able to build one another. We have to create the networks. We have to create a voice for ourselves. And by such kind of trainings and the opportunities we are going to discuss today, we give people a chance to be able to understand where they can be able to position themselves, what they need to do to go to the next level, what they need to do to be able to benchmark with the rest, all right? We also want to raise security and safety awareness in women through support programs in training and development, mentorship, networking in partnership with public and private sectors and interested international stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, in WISE, we are diverse and inclusive, all right? And for us to be able to be purposeful in our engagement, we need all the support we can get. So we celebrate our male champions who have joined us today. Karibuni sana, I can see quite a number of you. And what more can I say? Only that as we do this journey, as we walk this journey, hold our hands, and the sky is the lower limit, as our keynote speaker likes to say, that the sky is indeed the lower limit. So I think we should just delve right into it. You can be able to see from our poster that we sent out earlier that today we are climbing in heels and boots. Yes, and what does that mean? It means that in whatever you're comfortable in, that stride you have to make. There are those of us who can be able to still walk comfortably in heels. Yeah, those of us in security are more comfortable in boots. Yes, but what are we saying is that those strides must be made however you feel comfortable to do it, whether you want to do it in flats, heels, boots, or even barefoot. Yes, as long as you are able to reach that where you have purpose to do. So this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce to you powerful panelists that we have with us. Yes, I am so humbled to have Sarah Richson with us. She's here due to public demand. Yes, she was very, very powerful and instrumental during our launch. Sarah, welcome. We're happy to have you. Yes, and during the launch, she set a pace. You know, as Sarah could talk, you'd feel in your adrenaline that I need to do more as a woman, that nothing should stop me. Like I used to be those women who would complain, oh, I have this. After I left the launch, I felt rejuvenated. And Sarah, a lot of people are waiting to hear from you. They are waiting to hear what do they need to do to be these powerful women who can be able to get out there and be noticed. Yes, we don't want to be getting out there and people that don't even remember that you are in the room. We want to be these women that when we walk in and we say something, people can actually remember what we said. So we are happy to have you on board, Sarah. Karibu sana. I want to also appreciate. I will just. I want to appreciate my other panelists, but as I do that, all right, I think I was bringing that on board. So as I was discussing about Sarah, I was saying the last time she was impactful in our launch. She is a double global award winner, a strategist, a speaker, master trainer, and executive coach. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are privileged to have Sarah with us, and she represents the epitome of strength and resilience. Yes, and she has risen and broken barriers from being a teenage mom, yes, to being a global director. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to hear how did she get there? What can we do to be able to break those chains that really hold us back? So she has various awards, accolades to her name. All right. She is a professional. She has professional accreditations to various memberships, IHRM, Chartered Institute of Personal Development. All right. She has an award as an Exceptional Woman of Excellence, Award 2018. Women Empowerment Principles Champion 2019, World HRD Congress. My goodness, Sarah, some of these things you tell us how to get them. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see the kind of speakers we have lined up for you, right? For today. Sarah is very, very rich with talent, with experience, the kind of audience she's dealt with, all types of women who have been able to second guess themselves. She's been able to take them through various trainings. So ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, we'll continue to share some of these profiles, and then you can be able to really engage further with our speakers and panelists to see how we can engage with them. I'm going to delve into my next speaker, who is Madam Evalyne Kemuma. Madam Evalyne Kemuma is
You have. So I hate her.
Madam Evalyne Kemuma is the principal for Kenya Institute and for Kenya Institute of Security and Criminal Justice. I want to say that that is a very personal institution to me because I also have a history there. So Madam Kemuma, we are humbled to have you on board. You are a woman who heads an academic institution that nurtures young people into this area of security. So we can only be proud. We can only be proud to be associated with you. I know there are many ladies who wonder, how do I get it to do a certificate course or a diploma program or a higher diploma program? And suppose I don't have what it takes, what can I do? So we are saying that we are privileged to have you on board. She is also a staunch WISE member in the training committee. She is the deputy chair of the training committee. So Kemuma, karibu sana. We are actually very anxious to hear what you have to offer for us. And we are very, very expectant moving forward. On to my next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us our very own Purity Kinanu, who is a WISE staunch member. She is a governing council member of Women in Safety Excellence. She heads the Department of Partnerships and Programs, and she's a gym fanatic. Yes, and she likes to say she's taking over the global corporate security sector. Yes, because she's well-purposed, she's well-positioned. She's an ACES International member, and she is also in charge of HR at the G4S Kenya Limited. She's the Learning and Development Manager, and we are happy to have her on board. As a HR in a security company, she has a lot of experience on those challenges that women face in this human resource area to get into security, into the security sector. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to belabor the point. I want to get right into it so we can go to hear what our panelists have in store for us. Yes, we are going to be discussing about career growth. I want also to introduce my second moderator, Madam Annette Kimitei. She is a governing council, the Deputy Secretary General for Women in Safety Excellence. She is the MD Senaca East Africa. We are happy to have her here. So allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to hand over to her. Thank you very much. I wish as we conclude this session later, we can exchange notes on how much fun it has been. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you again, Monica. Always a pleasure to host an event with you. And so we'll begin right in. You remember the theme today is climbing in heels and boots. And just as Monica said, some of us have climbed the ladder. Some of us are on our way to the ladder. There are people contemplating entering security as a career. There are people contemplating growing in this sector. There are others even feeling like maybe I should give up. This was not the place for me. It's just too tough. And we have gone from our sandals to bare feet to rubber shoes to heels to boots. And along the way, we've picked enough blisters. And with us today is someone who's going to be able to unpack all that, Sarah Richson. So I'll dive right in, Sarah. And I just want to know, who is Sarah at work and who is Sarah outside work?
Thank you so much, Annette. Thank you so much to everybody here. Really humbled to be joining such a powerful panel. I've met you ladies, I've watched you, I know what you guys have achieved, and kudos to you, woman to woman, leader to leader. Thank you so much for this session and for everybody who has taken their time to come here. By the way, I'm seeing friends here. Some of them, they're not in security, but I'm seeing you here. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And I'm so humbled, as always, when people come to listen to me, and even more humbled when people listen to me a second, a third, or multiple times. So who is Sarah? As a person, I am a wife, happily married. I am also a mother to multiple children. 3 of them now adults. My firstborn is 28 this year, I think. My second and third child are both at university. I'm starting to feel like a grandma. We are negotiating with them and how soon they'll make me a grandma and everything. And I still have, obviously, my younger child at 11 years in school as well. Who am I in terms of my profession? I wear many hats. I call myself a slasher. Slasher as in, that slash you see on a computer. I'm a slasher. I have a slasher career. I'm a trainer, I am a coach, I am a speaker, I am a serialpreneur in the fashion industry, in the supply chain industry, in consulting, in coaching, in training. The list can go on and on. And recently have launched and released a video and a song that was sung about me. So, what, people who follow me on Facebook, you see how much I love dancing and music. So I love life. I just love life, and I bring that energy to everything I do and whatever. And I don't want to be boxed into anything. The one thing, it could never be Sarah Richson. What is my message to you as well is, God gave us, I think, each of us minimum 5 talents. Why do we die having done only one? People are asking you, so you can do hair, run a salon and still be in security and still be a HR somewhere and whatever. Yes, you can. And I tell my children, you cannot limit yourselves. You need to do as much as God has put into your hands. So that's who I am, Annette. Thank you.
Wow, and I must say I'm a follower of your Facebook page, and I cannot believe those are your daughters. And just, those look like your sisters, if not sometimes your younger sisters. Fabulous. Very well articulated. And even when I met them in person one day by default, I was actually really inspired, because already they are starting to chart their ways in the I think it was in the makeup market.
Yes.
So just how do you juggle it all? How do you juggle a global speaker to the passion you have in HR, to a mother between 11 to 28? How do you manage it all?
First of all, one of the first things I like saying is I really don't joke with my support system. And I cannot emphasize this enough. I wish I could say I'm a know-it-all and I achieved it all. And you know what? I wake up early in the morning. All the stories I always had growing up. I think there's somebody, Umazi. Someone needs to mute. I think. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that. I was just sharing that I wish I could call myself a superstar mom who is so smart and has it all and can do it all and whatever. No. To be honest, I achieve a lot of things because of teams. I say one thing, make your family your team and make your team your family. I repeat, make your family your team and make your team your family. What does that mean? So my family, by the time they're hitting 10 years, I'm teaching certain skills that I know are very useful to the family, not just to the person. So my daughters learn how to photocopy very quickly. We have photocopying machines. If you look through, this is my home office right now. They know how to set up my office. They know how to link and put small chargers and whatever. So those things just help speed up little things. As they start growing, they know how to research for content. They know, they know the businesses that we do. The supply chain business that I'm doing with my daughter, that one, we are both partners, but she knows how to source for goods. She knows how to look at market research and what people want and everything. So they've become my team, and my team, especially the one that I led in my last role as a global HR director. We are still in the same WhatsApp group, in the same lines. We still talk to each other. I use them a lot as associates in a lot of the work that I do because they know me, I know them. We don't need to re-engage and restart and whatever. So like what you're doing in WISE, Annette, you start knowing whose strengths. And so you have to call up, you have to have what I call a life team. It doesn't have to be just the team at work. A life team that you can reach out to, and together you have something called distributed intelligence. And so for me, I have distributed intelligence in the area of being a mother. I am working in spaces where there's mothers to teens, there's mothers to older people, there's mothers to adults, mothers to young children and everything. I'm giving, they are giving, and we are giving each other. And that is one thing that has really helped us. And the other thing is having a personal board of directors. Having people who speak into my life, people who can challenge me without trying to say things that I want to hear. And I also sit on many people's PBODs as well, personal boards of directors. And so when you have those people, not your aunt, your mom, please, ladies, this emotional thing that we have to bring somebody from church and it's my, no. In fact, if they don't know you so much, but they have the competence to be able to deliver. Maybe one of them is a strategist, another one is just good at positioning your brand, the other one is really good at financials, so you can talk to them finances and they can challenge you. People who are go-getters, who have succeeded, who have footprints, should be able to sit as in your personal board of advisors. And finally, I pay for advice. I'm not looking for anything for free. I'm not looking to waste people's time. I'm not looking to get no's to my emails or people ignoring me because I'm too much and everything. This is one thing I've always told women. When you see women at the highest level, they understand investment. When you're still at the level of seeing things as addition or minus, then you're at the cost level. And cost level will cost you a lot, even in terms of career trajectory or business trajectory. But the minute you see things as investments, Annette is here with me, she's investing her time. Annette has said yes to that meeting or whatever, I'll buy that lunch. I think the next time I call her, she'll come. So those little things that just helped me have access to people and helped me have value, and they valued me and my approach, made people I could not afford very accessible to me. And giants talk to each other. They're like, that's Annette. I want to be with her. I helped her with this and she's come back and really shown that she can do ABCD. Or that one, don't touch. I wouldn't even touch with them. Coaches talk to each other, mentors talk to each other. So don't waste people's times. And the final thing is SMEs. I don't do small and medium excuses. I'm late for this meeting because my child, or I'm late for that because of, please, SMEs, ladies, let's stop that. I went into my last role. I was the only female, and I can see a few people who worked with me here. I was the only female at the global leadership team with 19 men. 2 layers below were 2 director roles. And then we start with global management teams. And that's where I had another woman. And then after that is where you start seeing women. So there were many women in the organization, 68% of the population, but they were not sitting in strategic positions. Again, why? I'll talk about that a bit later. But this is how I managed to handle multiple dimensions of my life, being a mother, being a friend, being a coach, a business owner, or whatever. I work with teams and I enter into their WhatsApp groups with each of those teams. I know them, they know me. If they send me something and I've forgotten, they're like, Sarah has blue ticked, but she has not ignored. Remind her. She's blue ticked again. She's not ignored. Call her. I tell them, do everything possible to reach me. I don't accept excuses. Oh, I couldn't reach you in this day and age. But Annette, I need a whole day to just go into that space of how to be able to do all these things, but working through others, not doing it all yourself. I have 2 hands like everybody else here. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I mean, you've just said it all. A support team. I have a group where we call each other bras, you know, like a wonder bra. Sincere apologies to the men here, but for the ladies in the room, you know, you cannot necessarily live a very comfortable life without proper support. And that is who we become, women holding hands together. And I'm proud that WISE is part of the bras that give us that support for basic essentials. A personal board of directors, and I do hope as a team, we always walk around and I can point. I have mine who are 11, and for different reasons, whether it's spiritual, whether it's medical, whether it's personal, and it's great to know this. So I want to quickly move on to our next panelist. We are going to come back to you, Sarah, very soon, but I want to move very quickly to my dear friend, Kemuma. So Evalyne Kemuma, as you had heard, is a principal of Kenya Institute of Criminal Justice, KICJ. And KICJ is one of those first organizations I heard about when I came to this industry of security. My background is HR by default, HR and training. So I landed in security by default, not that I'm a technical security person who studied security. And one of the institutions that I encountered very fast in my career, and particularly with the people I used to hire, was people from Kenya Institute of Criminal Justice. So very briefly, Kemuma, tell us, who is KICJ and what do you do as an institution?
Thank you, Annette. Good afternoon, members. It's good to see all of you. Like you've said, my name is Kemuma Evalyne. I am the Chief Principal, Kenya Institute of Security and Criminal Justice. You'll forgive my hoarse voice, a bit of flu creeping in. KICJ is an institution of higher learning. It was initiated in 2002. By then, our vision bearer saw a gap in the training industry, and specifically in the security training industry. And that is when he came up with a college that would train in security management, forensic and criminal investigation, disaster management, criminology, among many other programs that you can find in the market. We are an institution that, of course, is registered under the Ministry of Education, under TVET in this country. We boast of bridging the gap between tertiary institutions, between basic education, that is from secondary level, to institutions of higher learning at a university level. Simply because we offer programs ranging from certificates, diplomas that can propel you to pursuing your dreams at a university level. So KICJ is an institution, it's an academic institution. Our programs are very, very diverse, but more detailed in security and related programs. We have our offices, our headquarters, the City Hall Annex in the CBD in Nairobi on the 15th floor. Feel free to pay us any visits. We also have professional development courses apart from the academic programs, because we believe that our session today is growing in our careers and in our profession. So the professional development courses allows people in specifically the security industry to acquire specific knowledge and skills to propel them to meeting personal goals and also professional goals.
Wonderful. I had not imagined that second part of professional development courses, and congratulations. Being a principal of heavily security sectored institution. How has that been for you? What has been the experience?
First of all, I would say it has been a great opportunity for me to serve as the principal of KICJ. And it has not also been a very easy, you would say. We have administrative duties, and at the same time, you also have to teach which all of them needs or come hand in hand. But I'm grateful for the opportunity that I got to serve as the principal. That opportunity as a principal has helped me to network. I must say that I've been able to network by the both private and government security personnel, which provides a very rich, a network or a very rich source of motivation in terms of the dynamism that is experienced in the industry. I've also been able to learn from these people that I have been networking with, and that has really helped me a lot.
Thank you, Kemuma. And just out of interest, are most of your students male or female?
Most of my students are male. Most of my students are male. We cannot overlook the fact that security is a male-dominated industry. But I also must say that the women are catching up. We are seeing numbers growing, and that is what we advocate for on a day-to-day basis. We are telling the women it is okay, come to school, come back to school and learn, and so that we can be able to go for these opportunities that present themselves for career growth.
And out of interest, again, I know you have particular courses. Which are the courses that are favored most by the women at KICJ?
The women are taking in courses on criminology and security management, because criminology largely is management of crime, and security management for its from its diversity, because when we talk about security management, we are talking about the entire industry. It does not limit you to a particular task. Security management opens ways or provides different opportunities that can be there for a security personnel in the market. So security management, criminology, and forensic and criminal investigations, the three programs take a lead.
Beautiful. And we are so happy to hear that, women are pursuing criminology. A couple of years back, all the courses being done in colleges by women were what you'd call very soft skills oriented. So it's very impressive to know that women have now ventured into criminology, security management, and even to forensics. I want to switch now to Purity. As you've heard, Purity is the head of HR and talent and learning and development at G4S, one of the largest, if not the largest, security institutions across the world. And even here in Kenya, when we were growing up, we have always been aspiring. When we grow up, we want to be like G4S. So karibu sana Purity. Purity is a member of IHRM, that is the Institute of Human Resource Management, and she's also a member of CIPD. So Purity, please tell us a little bit more about what IHRM is, how do you become a member, and what is CIPD?
Thank you, Annette. I'm privileged to be here today to just, say a few things about the industry. As far as ladies are concerned, it's a broad industry. To answer your question, AHRM is a body, an association, a professional body for HR professionals. For you to really be a member, you need to have the passion, first of all, besides talking about having some skill sets in HR, you need to have a passion. And we will be discussing later why passion is very important. You need to have relevant, of course, academic skills or qualifications within HR for you to be a member of IHRM. There are different levels, of course. They have their offices in town. If you want to find out more about them, you can always visit them. And actually IHRM, when they have even your contacts, they keep sending emails. We have updates on a day-to-day basis of what is happening. More importantly, it's an association that brings together professionals. So that means professionals around Kenya within HR have somewhere to go to borrow best practice, to borrow standards, to network, to be able to learn from one another. So that is what IHRM is. Now CIPD is not local here. Chartered Institute of Personnel Development. It's also the same. It's similar to IHRM. It's more advanced. It has a global outfit. There is much more you learn from them. You learn whatever it is you learn is more. It has a global perspective for anybody who is interested in approaching their professional career in terms of a global, from a global point. That's a good area. That's a good place for you to do some certifications. It's a good place for you to be able to be a member, because then sometimes even when you're in class reading with them or studying, the cohorts that you have members from different countries. So at the end of it all, you realize that you have made so many friends, you have made professional networks outside the country, outside Africa. So I think that is all I can say about IHRM and CIPD. Annette?
Thank you. And that is very exciting to learn how professions have already been regulated. Locally here in Kenya, we have IHRM. Internationally, we have CIPD. And already Kenyans are compliant, and we know that this industry, the private security industry, is also being regulated. And soon it will be a requirement that you have at least the basic minimum requirements to be able to join this sector, just as Purity has mentioned. And other than that is that you also have to achieve things either every year or every other 2 or 3 years for you to continue also working in this sector, which will be great. But I'm interested in knowing, Purity, HR security. How did you enter this sector?
Quite an interesting question, Annette. I've been in different sectors. I've been in the hospitality sector. I've been in the financial sector and landed in security by default. And having landed in security by default, 15 years now, I think I have learned that it's an exciting place. When I was in the hospitality industry, the financial sector industry, I still didn't feel like I had arrived. And I didn't spend so many years in some of those, in any of those sectors. But having gotten to security, and gotten the opportunities that I did get that have made me who I am today and gotten me to where I am, I've learned a lot and learned how broad the industry is. So to answer your question, I landed there by default, grown through the, through the roles, different roles, to where I am today. It is a very broad industry that has a lot for us as women, a lot. Nobody should be scared about the industry. When we talk about security, what people see are the hard boots. That is what people see outside there. What people see or what people know is about a guard. Those who are in the industry know now that is getting polished, so that we move from that connotation of a guard to a security officer to make it a bit, more endearing. That is what people know. But beyond a security officer, these are very important employees. These are very important members of our society. Beyond that, there is a lot within the industry. And that is why I'm still there 15 years down the line. Annette?
15 years, impressive. You wouldn't have thought Purity has already been in the industry, despite her counting financial sector and also hospitality sector. Just very quickly, Purity, again, describe your day as the HR manager of G4S. What are the key things that you go through? Is it a chief's camp with so many issues?
Yeah, my role as HR manager L&D is not really a chief's camp, and I'm happy to see a few of my colleagues here. It's not a chief's camp, but the connotation, what people see from outside really, as I said, is the hard boots. It is a normal working day for anybody. So when I get into the office in the morning, really, it's just about ensuring that the over 13,000 employees are fully skilled. They have the right competence, the right skills, the right attitude to be able to do their job. That is basically what my day is. Everything I do is centered around that. They are coached, they are mentored, they are trained, they are developed, they are given career opportunities, they are guided, they are guided through a career plan or a career path. That is what my day is all about. Annette?
Wonderful, wonderful. When I was HR manager many years ago, my day would be from morning to evening, tell me about yourself. And I'm happy that the industry is not only reinventing itself, but reinventing itself in a manner that is very positive and very progressive. And Purity, we love and admire you for the role that you have. And even the number of people that can count and say, I was in G4S, and because of this guidance, this training, this career progression, I am where I am. And I'm very excited about what you mentioned, which is there's a lot of opportunity for us as women in security. And it's only not limited to boots. There's boots, definitely, and there's heels. So now I want to quickly turn over to Sarah. But before we do that, I've already seen some questions in the chat box, and I'm encouraging many people, please type into the chat box any questions that you have. We'll be able to get to that shortly. But back to you, Sarah. In your experience, what holds women back from maximizing full potential? What holds us back?
First of all, women do not have a don't do list. Annette, let me tell you, all of us in life must have a don't do list. And you know what women have? It is very long to-do lists. From here till Timbuktu. If I come and check somewhere in your life, I will find a to-do list and another to-do list. You have a personal one, you have the one for shopping, burgers and this and that. Then you have the one for office, you have the one for your businesses, everything. And then they are disjointed. They're in different apps or different places or notebooks or name it. I've done that. And I'm telling you, it is very easy to go mad. So as I started rising in my career, I got to a point where, you know what? I don't have to spend my entire Saturday running around the market looking for the right tomatoes because my husband will not eat food from a house help. As we are rising as a family, there are some things I must stop doing. We used to start calibrating, and this is the best way. I worked in HR, so I'm sure people like Purity, yourself, you can understand. First of all, calibrate your income. Look at your salary today, divided by 160 hours. Let's just start there. When you divide maybe 100,000 by 160 hours, you start knowing how much your value is per hour. Now start telling me what you are doing with those hours and those things, how much you would pay somebody else to do. And if you come to visit me this weekend or anytime, when my friends come to visit me, they know I'll have a chef who I will pay 2,000 shillings to make everything look flawless. I will not leave the space of my visitors. I will be present. I have called you to visit me. There's value you are bringing to me. My listening to you and investing that time rather than running around and telling, and then, hold on, imagine you've come to my house for 3 hours and I've spent 40 minutes with you because the rest I'm in the kitchen, I'm cutting tomatoes, I'm peeling onions, I'm doing, how rude and disrespectful and a waste of time. So as I started having a bigger income, and I found when I'm using my time on more strategic things, I was not held back on those nitty-gritty things. So the secret that is holding women back is they are putting elephant effort for mouse impact, instead of putting in mouse effort to gain elephant results. So don't be held back by insisting and giving these SMEs small and medium excuses. My husband won't eat from I have to make his socks. I'm a director of 4 companies. I'm still folding socks. I'm still buying this. Please. Some things you have to decide as you elevate in life what you stop doing. The other thing that is holding women back is too much preparation and not enough courage. By the way, this year's IWD theme is courage to challenge. So for me, let me tell you, I will grab an opportunity when I'm not even sure how I'm going to deal it. When I became a global director, first African lady to hold that role, I was given 6 months. I was told the role will chew me or I will chew it. And I decided I will chew it by all means. Grab the opportunity. It was advertised for an Africa role. When I went in there, I told them in the first meeting, I could see this is not you don't have problems in Africa. You have a problem across the globe and I can solve it. And HR is HR. If I know the principles, the fundamentals, the 8 pillars, the whatever, my friend, I will circumvent it. I will do it global. I have exposure, I've traveled, I've done and what I don't know, I will learn. You fail forward. So this time, this year, take this theme seriously. Courage to challenge yourself. And finally, I'll tell you, give yourself permission. Permission to fail, permission to learn, permission to be given feedback, permission to move forward. Those are telling me, oh, that meeting is in the evening, so I don't think I can. It's on a Saturday, I have church tomorrow, so I don't think I can. When I was employed in my last role, that is the day my daughter was having a root canal. I keep telling this story to women. You know what a root canal is? It's an operation where she's put under anesthesia. And they've called me, this is the day for reporting because the CEO is traveling and I won't see him for 30 days. So I make a decision. I was like, you know what? This job is going to pay this insurance. I called my mom. I said, accompany my husband, take them to the root canal. Anything goes wrong, call me. So please, it is not, if you're not willing to go through any pain, and there's a training I ran called Leading Through Pain. If you're not willing, you have not matured, hujakoma kufika pale. So some of the things that hold you back is your own beliefs, your own worries, and then you want to blame the whole world. There's a time somebody was calling me and saying, I've got an invitation to go and attend, you know, when the elections happened. And so she got, I think, a front row seat. So I've gotten a phone call and an invitation to go and see Uhuru, I think, or somebody was being inaugurated. I think it's our current president, Uhuru. And so she calls me early in the morning, a coachee of mine. I'm at the airport. She's supposed to be attending an interview in Rwanda. She's telling me she can't come because she got this invitation. I told her, forget your career, my friend. This is our president's career. And yours, you're missing an interview because you have a front row seat. Tomorrow morning, you will be calling me. You know, she turned around and took the flight, went to the interview. Today, she's leading something, strategic initiatives across Africa in Oracle. So please, my friends, don't be held back from opportunities with our SMEs. And please allow me just something for me that I really, really feel is something has held other women, and I don't let it hold me back, is grit. In fact, my daughter gave me this book when I was coming to speak here because she knows how much I love it. Go buy it. Grit. It is the combination of passion and resilience. Resilience is not those people who never fail. It is actually those people who bounce back, the speed with which you bounce back from a failure. Go to YouTube, just type in Engage 17 and look for the Sarah Richson story. You will either cry or become stronger. And once you see where I have come from to be where I am today, you will understand why this woman is no nonsense and she will not take anything and whatever. Have the passion. My family knows. I tell my husband, I tell my kids, I tell everybody, we soldier on. Have grit. Push. No is not an answer here. You find a way around that mountain and get it done. Get to where you need to be. Thank you, Annette. That's all.
Wow. And Sarah, you've said something that has struck. Huh? As women, we want to grow in careers. We want to be in all these boards. We want to be leading our departments, but we still want to squeeze the tomato and feel if it is ripe enough in the market. And we still have those 24 hours that every other man and woman has. But again, culturally, we have this challenge where our husbands feel, you left me to the maid. I have not even eaten your food. How do we handle that? And I know we have both men and women, wives and husbands, and potentials in the room. How do you handle the issue of guilt that pangs on women when you're not able to attend every child's swimming day, when you're not able to attend all your girlfriend's children's birthdays, when you're not able to attend every chama? How do you handle that guilt?
V versus V. Annette, you follow me on Facebook, so you've seen me and my husband. V versus V. Does that man look like he's ignored or not looked after? Let me tell you one thing. V versus V means volume versus value. How much value? My daughter told me a long time, and it struck home. You know, these guilt pangs, they are always there because it's messaging, the wrong messaging. And so I was messaged that because I'm running, I'm in Dubai with a 6-month-old baby training, and she's crying in the other room. I'm here, I'm doing what, but those are the things I needed to do in order to not be left behind in my career. Now, when my daughter grew up and I was asking her, did you feel like you are left out? Compared to those moms, maybe Annette is at home with the remote control watching Nigerian movies with you. When you come from school, they meet you with a hot meal. You know, they pangusa your mouth, oh, my baby, today, this. They're at the gate of the school. And Sarah is visiting 12 countries. And then coming back, sitting with dashboards and coffee and what? Hi, darling, how are you? How was school? Okay. Okay, bring it. Let me see. I have 10 minutes. So just tell me specifically how I help. Those are the conversations, real conversations that happen in my home. You know what she told me when she entered university? She said, Mom, I have so many of my friends with a couch potato parent that they resent. And the parent starts telling them, you know, I could have been HR director of G4S, but it's because Niliwaza, because of you. Now you start calling out the child. They will not listen to that. And these digital citizens will call you out for it. So my daughter told me she's really proud to have watched a mother push through every obstacle. And every minute that I spent with her was a minute of value. We sit, she had something she told me, it's called a green book in her head. She would sit in a situation and say, what would my mother say? What would my mother do? I said few things, but they were valuable. I did few things, but they were valuable. Many do multiple things. But ask me, is it useful or is it useless? Same with my husband. You know, if he sees me in the kitchen, even just chopping something and trying to fry something, and he's like, hey, dancing that day like it's Christmas. It becomes a valuable event. And yes, I make sure the same food that he likes, I will teach our house help. The same things he also adds value. He helps cook. Annette, you see. I get roast potatoes and roast dinners and I share them on Facebook for my husband. So it's about also some equity. Honestly, our support network starts from that home and that's killing those vibes that we are passing. My son, my firstborn is a son. And let me tell you, girlfriends are after him because the boy can cook, clean, and serve very well. So it's up to us to change the narrative. And it's up to us, we women, but they are the ones making other women feel bad and look bad. When we have many daughters, so my husband takes them to the salon. And it is women who are harassing him from the door. Now, happy mama? Mama ni mgonjwa. Mama yuko happy? Alienda happy? Kuna mama kweli kwa nyumba, kwani what do you want? You want to come and replace mama in the moon? You have never seen a man break. These are his daughters. I can take my son to the barber shop. I don't expect those questions. Now, happy baba, panini baba, I'm letting kinyozi and things like that. These cultural lines, unless they're making sense to you, please. We need to really relook at some of those things and start giving value instead of volume. Permission granted.
Wonderfully said, wonderfully said. And I hope all the ladies and the men, married and married, have taken this home. It is value versus volume. And you bring out an important part, which is we also have men who want to consider soft careers in their lives. And their fathers will tell them, you unaniaibisha. You are embarrassing me by being a nurse. You are embarrassing me by being a masseuse, doing massage.
A makeup artist.
A makeup artist. And these are the careers that are also going to be paying in future because the arts, this is the time the continent, if not the globe, is appreciating the arts. So a lot of our young men and even older men have missed out on the passions of their lives, just fitting into cultural norms. I want to switch on to Kemuma. Kemuma, we want to know more about KICJ, and particularly in KICJ, is I'm a woman, I'm working, and I always say this, one of my nastiest encounters in my academia is when I had to do an MBA with pregnancies. You know, throughout my MBA, I had 3 pregnancies. So I'm one of those people who took a very long time because of medical conditions to even finish the MBA. And it's because at that time, there were no online courses. But I know now with online courses, we are able to beat traffic. We are able to study even at our own convenience. Does KICJ offer this? And are there, you know, like blocks where you can be able to study instead of doing full time? What is this that would be a course ideal for a working woman and a career woman and also a mother?
Thank you, Annette. And congratulations for having gone through that program, having been pregnant, because as a woman, studying also comes with a lot of challenges. But all I can say is that in KICJ, we tailor-make programs to suit the needs of our clients. And that is our highlight. So we tailor-make because we do in-house training, and we also have training at the institution. So if an institution needs training from us or needs to be trained by KICJ, they can always reach out to us, and we can tailor-make a program that will suit that need that they have. Starting from the course, the course title, starting from and also moving on to the schedules that they have. Because we know if it's an organization reaching out, then they must not be sat work to attending the course. Then we can also come in at a time when the organization feels that they have a balance. They have those at work and they have those who are attending the seminar. And we can do it also periodically. We can do it after 2 months, after a month, or after a week. So we tailor-make those programs. Do we have online programs? We are developing an online platform that will include our current students, plus also students. But we have an interesting program, which is called the distance learning program. In that particular program, what we do is we tailor-make notes in a particular unit, and we give assignments. So we give the student the material to go and read, work on assignments, plus frequent follow-ups. Then they come to the college for examinations. And that program has really been convenient, especially for those in the security industry, where we know it's not a 8 to 5 job. It's not a conventional job. It has its dynamics. Sometimes you have to work from 6 to 6. Sometimes you're night shift. Sometimes you are on a day shift, or you're even working during weekends. So we have that distance learning program that is very, very convenient. We also have part-time classes where you can come to class every Saturday from morning till evening, specifically from 8 to 5 p.m. And we also have full-time classes. So we are all round, depending on what the client would need. Annette?
Beautiful, and it's great to know that KICJ is reinventing itself. You will definitely have the full-time programs, the part-time programs, the distance learning programs, and even one that I've just found out today, which is you are able to tailor programs specific to organizations.
Yes.
And I think in the audience, there'll be questions as to how people can get in touch with you. So I'll request Kemuma that you do type in the details.
Yeah.
And then you share with us the profile, and we'll be able to email all the participants, particularly regarding the opportunities you have at KICJ. I just want to ask you a quick question, Kemuma, on what is the difference between professional development and academic development? You mentioned that you have both. What is the difference?
Now, academic development is where you come in the college and you want to study. It's moving from one level of study to the next, moving from one grade to the next. And it's also done after assessing what you have been able, the knowledge that you've been able to acquire from one level so that you can be promoted to go to the next grade. That is academic progression. You move from term 1, you are evaluated, you go to term 2, you finish a course, you start from certificate, you're evaluated, you go to a diploma, and that is what we call academic progression. But when it comes to professional development, I believe that is acquiring or acquisition of knowledge and skills that will be able to, that will enable you to pursue or to perform a particular task. For example, if you are in HR like Kinanu, then you will acquire skills on how to manage human resources or maybe any other resources, and that is professional development. If you are in cyber or you want to pursue cyber crime in investigations, or that is your ultimate goal, then professionally, what do you need to do? You need to acquire IT skills. You need to acquire computer investigation skills so that they can propel you to become a cybercrime investigator. So acquiring of skills and knowledge, particularly to a particular course, that is what we call professional development. Annette?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for that clarification. And soon we are also going to learn a lot more about the courses that Sarah Richson also offers when it comes to personal development. And I'm again very excited to learn that KICJ, there's that distinction.
Yes.
I want to jump to Purity. Purity in private security, you know, unfortunately, is one of those careers that people come to when they've almost given up. I always ask my guards why they came to join Senaka, and they say, hakuna kazi yuko inje, madam. So it is one of those careers that men come to because there's no job, and then women come to because they don't want to be a house girl. Yet there are so many opportunities in this sector, and there are so many opportunities for women in this sector. But just generally from your own observation, what jobs do most women take up in G4S? Are there very distinct roles that you'll identify to have more women than their counterparts?
Thank you, Annette. Basically, yes, the feeling is, as I said, is a guarding job. Security, private security is a guarding job when there are so many other opportunities. We find a lot of ladies who join, you know, there are different levels also within security. That is why we are saying there is so much. The cake is so big for each and every one of us. People join at the lower level and they join just for a salary, you know, let me be able to pay my bills. And therefore I will just be, you know, a guard or a gadette. The ladies who come in as a gadette, the ladies who come in as a receptionist at a lower level. And as we progress, we find a number of ladies joining at the admin level. And this is not really basically even about G4S alone. I have interacted with a number of security firms, and a number of ladies are in the admin roles. A number of ladies are, with all due respect, really, because I also started there, and it's a very enriching career. It's a very enriching career path. A number of ladies find themselves in the sales roles, and some of them, as opposed to really looking at it as a career. I have my colleague here who has grown from a sales executive role and is leading when it comes to a senior position in sales. Now, that is a different case. She must have been very determined. But most of the ladies will join in just for the sake of the job. So even when they join in as a salesperson, most people, like many people grow from sales and find themselves as MDs, but people don't look at it like that. They are there just for the jobs. We have very few women when it comes to the hardcore security. The hardcore security, where we have the operations taking place, we don't have we don't have many ladies. They sort of keep off. We don't have a number of ladies when it comes to event security training. We don't have a number of ladies when it comes to the cyber area. We have an area on investigations, and when it comes to private security, in the public, we have a number of ladies doing very well investigations. In the private security, not quite, and we have a huge opportunity for someone being an investigator and growing themselves within that career. We have command centers that require a lot of people, but people look at a command center from, just a very basic area. That's an area that women can grow in. Women are very detailed. A command center requires somebody who is keen on details. That's an area that can grow in. Then, of course, when it comes to the area of HR, and a number of us who are in HR are just in mainstream HR. But you see, we have an opportunity when you are in HR vis-a-vis the security industry to ensure that you grow yourself, build yourself, invest in yourself. And that's why I talked of passion. Invest in yourself within the industry. But some of them, don't want just to remain within the industry. So those are some of the areas where we find ladies in. When it comes to the MD, the corner offices, not quite, Annette, and you are a good example when it comes to that. Not quite, for the fear of, this is an organization, this is an industry that is male dominated. And if it is male dominated, if I get to the corner office, how will I deal with the men? It's very, we tend to create those barriers that Sarah has talked about, our own personal barriers. But there is no reason why a woman cannot excel within the security industry. It takes your competence, your wit, and just being able to connect with the industry and connect with the men within the industry. Annette.
Beautiful. And Purity, you've hit it spot on, because in this sector, these things are not unique. I'm realizing that they are not unique just to G4S, because it is the same scenario even in my company, and I believe many other security companies, which is the cadets want to come in and that's the end. As the best they will do is reception. For us, when we really lobbied, we found and had very deliberate plans on trainings and numbers. We realized that a good number of them still loved the control room, but it is because it's an enclosed environment. You don't deal with a lot of questions from outside. But beyond the CCTV operators, we just haven't been able to have our ladies break that ceiling, particularly having come from the guard force. In admin levels, yes, a little easier. But when it comes to like areas of dog handling, I've been asking the ladies, I'm sure you all grew up with dogs. Why are we not having any ladies in dog handling? When it comes to mobile response, I've only seen one security company which had one cadet only for a period of 2 months. And then when I inquired a few months later, why did you remove the cadet here? They said the customers complained. They said that a lady cannot do mobile response. The same as technical installations, who is doing alarms, electric fences, the team that is always in their overalls. You rarely ever find them. And just to go to the point that you said, the corner offices and the boards, rarely do you find women in security pursuing these positions. And often, even in the boards, you find it is the same ladies. So I'll ask you, what is this that is going to be able to make these ladies break out of the norm, be able to pursue these non-conventional careers and really be able to shine? Is it that the role models are not there? Is it that these jobs are, I'll give an example of what one guard told me. when he was exceptional, very good at his performance. And then one day I told him, I want you now to apply for the position of a supervisor because those opportunities are there. And he told me, madam, mimi mpaka nikufe ni rungu tu, mimi nitakamata rungu. Hii maneno ya supervisor, ukianza kukaribia huko ndio unafutwa, mimi nataka kusomesha watoto. Could it be the fear that arrests both men and women? So what advice would you have for those who don't want to pursue or are afraid to pursue an unconventional security career? Purity, you are on mute.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was saying it's the sad reality that we have people, we have our ladies who feel it is just a perception, first of all, just because the number of men are more. You know, when I enter a security organization, you will realize that just from the gate, from the access point, you will find a number of men. And I think that perception really sways their thinking and the way they look at it. Nevertheless, there should be no reason. I would like to mention, just for everybody on this call to realize that we have at those entry levels where we are talking about guards and cadets, a cadet is a lady guard. At that level, we have people who have invested in themselves. They have masters, we have a number of them. They have diplomas, very good diplomas. And I think the topic for today is quite relevant because the question is, when that person has that degree or diploma, do they have a career plan? Do they know what they want to do? Or did they just go to get it, an academic qualification, because everybody is rushing to get it? So what I would say is to break those fears, every lady needs to know that, you know, there is a lot of opportunity. They also need to invest in themselves. Even if I'm saying when you're getting these academic papers, you should know where you're headed. You must be, because if you do not have, you're not an expert in your area, you have no expertise that people can really identify you for or with. They cannot look out for Annette because of an area that they know she is an expert in. What will happen is, Annette, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, yeah, I saw some blank. What will happen is you will always feel like you're left out. And when you feel like you're left out, the fear creeps in. You know, you start feeling like, I am less of a person. So the starting point is invest in yourself. Just like Sarah mentioned, you need to invest in yourself. You need to have some competence and some skills that somebody can, you know, look out for. And when they look out like this, they are seeing a lady and not always men. The second thing is have a plan for yourself. You know, as you are in the job, are you there just because of a salary? If you're just there because of a salary, then utasema hiyo ya Annette, mimi mpaka rungu, mpaka nikufe, nitakuwa tu nimeshika rungu. But if you have a plan for yourself, if you know what you want to do, then you will be able to achieve it. Another thing I would like to mention, Annette, is that we see a lot of women. There's a bit of noise.
Okay. Esther Maina. Okay, please proceed with muted.
All right. We see a lot of women who join from an entry level because you start designing your career from the time you get, you know, you start understanding who you are. So a lot of people will look for resources, go out, even get a financial resource from an institution like a bank, a circle, to build a house, to buy a plot, to do this and to do that, which are very good things. But we forget that investing in yourself is very important. We need to take personal investment as serious as the way we take investment in other, you know, in other things like, you know, property and assets and all that. So I think, Annette, that's what I can say about that.
You know, Pretty, you've hit the nail on the head, which is pivoting in heels and boots has no we can't run away from the fact that the training is important and investing in yourself. And I want to go to a quote by Richard Branson, where the accountant was telling him, we don't have money, or rather, why should we spend money training people? And his question was, imagine if we train them and they leave. And Richard Branson added, imagine if we don't and they stay, which is a reality. But again, one question that comes up often, and I think I'm going to pose this to Sarah, is people struggle with investing in themselves. Often when I ask somebody, why haven't you been able to progress? Oh, madam, your course, your promotion inataka nikuwe na diploma. So when I ask, why haven't you done the diploma? Kampuni haijatulipia. So Sarah, I know you have amazing programs and you are able to share with us, and we want to know a little bit more about what these opportunities are. Please highlight, we'll be able to project on the screen the calendar that you had sent us, just about some of the programs that you're offering, and members of WISE and also friends of WISE, because I see an impressive number of men who've joined us can be able to benefit from. Karibu, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Is it possible for you to let me project from my side? Because there's something I wanted to show you as I answer that question of investment. Thank you so much. You've disabled my sharing. Allow me to share.
So we are making you co-host shortly.
Okay. Excellent.
Now you can share.
Fantastic. So I just wanted to share this. And when you look at, I went back to my days when I was heading HR. And I'd been asking myself this question: why is it every time we are doing things, and I loved doing things for women, you know, every month I had something called Moms Mentoring Moms group, which is an MOM. Moms like us who had adult children were mentoring people with their first child, second child, or third child. We were mentoring people who were struggling, you know, with parenting and everything. And imagine every time we were passing that reception, we used to pass this lady. You see this lady here? She doesn't belong to our organization. These are people in my organization, ladies in my organization and everything. But I made it a point that every country I traveled to, and I was looking after 5 continents and multiple, over 20 countries, I would not leave this woman. And I started asking and challenging HRs. It doesn't matter whether she is outsourced, whether she is from your organization or what. Why do we leave these women in security out of our trainings, our activities? Are they not human beings? And so now that I have stepped out of HR, I just want to throw it back to all of us here. I'm hearing HRs here, I'm hearing security women and whatever. I was talking about grabbing opportunities. And one day, just in my chat, I'm passing at reception, and she told me she's pregnant, because I was asking, you look a bit tired and everything. Do you want to go home? She told me she's pregnant and she's done, I don't know, 2 shifts or something like that. And we began a rapport. She grabbed the opportunity. We started becoming friends and everything. And I started including her, and because of her, I included so many others. So I just wanted to share that. And all of us, if there is a campaign we can run, in fact, I just wanted to do a campaign on remember every woman. Last year, the theme was leave nobody behind. But you know how many, if I went to maybe Carrefour and there's a security woman, if they are doing an event and cutting cake for the staff, they won't remember that lady at security. Leave nobody behind. So it is our challenge. And even the men, our security men, leave nobody behind. Challenge organizations, because these people serve in organizations and big organizations where there's activities for learning, activities for team building, activities for positioning yourself and everything. I'm challenging us to be human. I keep teaching about humanizing HR, so this is one of our opportunities. Thank you very much for talking about how all of us need to really think about improving ourselves. And so here I'd like to share our calendar, and this is the Rich Male Training calendar. And I'm supposed to be admitting somebody. Just hold on 1 minute. So we have a great learning experience. We would love to share with you and to partner with WISE in helping you invest for yourself. And please, as you said, that small and medium excuse, my employer did not pay and so I didn't do. If you start listening to the stories, having one-to-ones with women who've made it, 70%, and there's the learning model, 70-20-10 model, the 70% is you and how driven you are and the opportunities that you'll grab. 20% is your interpersonal skills and learning within teams and whatever. And then 10% is in class. And sometimes those are the ones that are paid for. So imagine if my employer is only paying 10% of my career and my training and my learning, then who is taking care of the other 80%? Who is finding those networks for me to get the 20% and who is driving me on a personal level? So for us, our learning experience, you'll have in-class trainings and you'll be working with superstar trainers. We have won awards because of what we have done. It is no joke. Secondly, you'll be in peer group discussions, gamification, you'll meet other people, you'll be able to be challenged. In all our trainings, we also involve micro safari learning sessions. So when you're coming to a host location like Mombasa, or we are taking you to Zanzibar, or we are taking you to Naivasha or Nakuru, you will have a micro safari in there and be able to learn something. There'll be a great networking opportunities because we believe in a framework called SKIM, building your skills, your knowledge, your experience, your exposure, your networks, because network is net worth. A lot of the jobs that I got, in fact, I think I stopped applying for jobs more than 15 years ago because people call me for the jobs and they come through the network. Working with WISE, it came through a network. So many of the things that will happen to you will come through networking opportunities. And then finally, our learning experience also includes accountability, partnership, over and beyond your organization. So it expands really how you can build that partnership and have some big moments. So for the leaders, anybody sitting here in a leadership position, or, and I used to say this to many people, if you're looking to enter leadership, position yourself now. Think about your destination. Don't think about where you are at right now. So one of the key things you can do is attend some of the trainings for leadership. And maybe you'll meet leaders there. Maybe you will learn leadership skills and everything. Here we are talking about successful transition and managing a regional team. If you want to work in a regional role, policy development, implementation, we are looking at you learning some HR for non-HR managers. If you're a manager and you just want to build your people's skills and you're not necessarily in HR, we are doing that as well. It is something really great happening in April, just right here in Nairobi. Transforming your organization into the new normal. You know, we've changed with COVID and everything will help you with guidelines, approaches, you know, operational excellence, crisis management, and then helping you to build a high performance team. I've built teams that today, many of them are leaders. And as I've told you, we've remained together intact. And let me tell you, the one you don't want to miss, the training of trainers. There are many ladies, and I'm seeing two of them here right now, who've attended my TOTs. TOT, it doesn't matter whether you're an intern today. If you feel you have the gift of the gab, you have the gift of speaking, the gift of training and passing knowledge, attend, we give you the skills. This could be your side hustle. This is the era where it's the gig economy. So you can be doing your job, but you can positioning yourself inside the organization and say, hey, I have some training skills and a certification because we are NITA certified to undertake this. And we'll be giving you a certification to help you undertake and be able to actually take on some trainings internally or maybe externally and earn some money. Why not? And then you can do customer experience, leadership pipeline, supervisory skills. If you have never been a supervisor before, coaching and mentorship skills for leaders, boosting productivity in your team. Some of you are struggling to boost productivity. Acacia is a venue I love. You know, we are very keen. You're seeing we're in Serena, Sankara, Concord Hotel, Acacia, Kempinski. Those are the places where we really love to take you so that your training and learning experience is amazing. Report writing and presentation skills, those are not just for leaders, they're for anybody. Some of you have to write reports about incidences, have to write reports about issues, have to submit some input into a report that is going to the board. All staff calendars, this one, whether it is a driver, whether it's hospitality staff, security staff, receptionist, name it. They can all come in for our personal branding workshop. This is another one you don't want to miss. White Sand, Sarova, Mombasa. You do not want to miss this one. By the way, it is one of my biggest sellouts. If you check on my LinkedIn, you saw in Uganda when I did it the other year, it had a queue all the way outside Golf Hotel to the road. Look after your own brand. I am a product of personal branding. So please attend this, sign up for it. We have great discounts for you. 15% if you attend in class, but you can also be in Saroba with us without being there by attending the online one, and you get 20% discount for that. So again, reach out to us. We'll share this calendar. Annette, I don't want to go through every nitty-gritty, but I'm just requesting you to please share the calendar with all your members. But that's just an insight into what it is. As we've said, the venues are amazing, and we've negotiated great. If you want accommodation in there, you can pay for yourself, invest in yourself. I always tell people, if I invest on 13,000 or 40,000 for a training, and I spend 3 days and make a network that can propel me in years for me to start earning my day rate. You know, my day rate went from a certain amount to quadruple, not double, not triple, quadruple, through investing in myself. And that's why I call it an investment and not a cost. And so look at the types of venues you'll be going into. Look at the type of learning experience you'll be enjoying. Look at our variety of courses that are out there for you to pick and choose, and just say, you know what? How many Java lunches do I have per year? How many handbags am I buying this year? How many shoes and whatever? When I can actually get into a role and traject myself to the point where I'm not even worried about my mortgage, leave alone the handbag or the Java lunch. And that is how I always look at these things when I'm thinking of investing myself. So please definitely reach out to us and look at how you can actually join. Thank you very much. Over to you, Annette.
Powerful. And I think if you can even project that more, you know, these are courses available for yourself as an individual, whether you're a supervisor, a manager, whether you want to improve your HR skills. And you know, I say everyone is a HR, as long as even a mother is a HR manager. You're managing the most important assets in your home, which are the human beings. So whether it's yourself, your team, your organization, there are various programs available. And I you know, we love the places we go for training. So if you have not been to Sankara, Kempinski, Acacia in Kisumu, Serena, Sarova, or if you really want to just travel the country and learn more in a different environment, because what happens is when we have our trainings in Nairobi, some of us in security, you really want to be in the training, but 99% of the time you're on your phone with some urgent security matter somewhere.
Yes.
So this is an opportunity for you to leave and send an email saying, I've gone to Kisumu, Mombasa, Nakuru for a training. So munipatie space ni land. But as long as you're in Nairobi, someone will always rush, sign for me a check, or there's this incident that we need you to respond to. So we have, thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing that. And again, I don't know if you want to repeat the special discount for WISE members, which we are so privileged to partner with.
We are definitely looking at giving you 15% for all the in-class sessions that you're going to attend. 15%. So if you're looking at something here and you're seeing it as 60,000, take off 15% just for WISE. And you'll need to come probably with an email intro or whatever from WISE and showing that you're a WISE member, and 20% for online. So if you decide you can't come there for the 3 day, but you join it online, we can give you the link at 20% off this price. So it's a really, really great deal. And we're doing it in partnership with the partnership that we've had with WISE and everything. So I am looking forward to having some of you starting to sign up for some of these amazing trainings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. More reasons why you not only need to be a member of WISE, you need to encourage your colleagues to be members of WISE, either as an individual or a corporate member. Remember, this year we have a discount where individual membership is 5,000 and corporate membership is 20,000. And as Sarah has said, 15% for in-class programs and 20% for online trainings. And I do recall, Sarah, that you are accredited by NITA. Probably you can mention a little bit more about that.
Yes, so we have NITA accreditation, we have IHRM accreditation, So if any of your people are in the HR space or are interested in the HR space and getting CPD points, you can get CPD points through us. We can actually issue them if you attend our training. For those of you through NITA, you can actually claim back. And guess what? You can claim back your accommodation, you can claim back a lot of the costs associated with this training and everything, as long as your organization is also, and I hope NITA, I hope WISE actually takes up a NITA membership so that the members who come in through a WISE perspective can actually get a lot of the money back, so it doesn't go to a waste.
Thank you for that clarification. For us, actually, at Sanaka, most of the trainings, 80% is at least you must be NITA accredited. And for that particular purpose, where we have invested in our employees, we love training, but we also appreciate when that is reimbursed and recognized by government. So ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it from an amazing and powerful team. Hatujamaliza. We still have a lot more to go on. I'm going to hand over to Monica, my co-moderator, who's going to be able to tackle questions on the chat box. So again, members, please type in any questions that you have on the chat box for us to be able to capture. Karibu, Monica.
Wow, I think I am just glued to my seat, enjoying every minute of what has happened this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me that indeed there's a lot we need to change, how we look at things, how we tackle issues, even in terms of attitude. But I have seen there are a few questions in the chat box, and I want to direct them to our panelists so that we can be able to also be able to, get to understand the audience a little bit. And the first question goes to Sarah. Sarah, are you there? All right, I can see Sarah dropped, but I can see she's back. Sarah, are you there? All right, my first question goes to you. And someone is asking, how do you deal with negative distractions from people you think are supposed to be close to you? Yeah, sometimes you have husbands who don't believe you have what it takes. Sometimes you have parents who don't believe you have what it takes. Sometimes even the closest friends, they'll discourage you when you have just decided there's this thing you want to pursue. How do you deal with those distractions? Even culture, even going against your whole community because you feel this is an area you need to delve into. How do you deal with these stereotypes that you can't do this? And that is a serious challenge for us women. Sarah.
One of the key things is when you're going for your career, you have to surround yourself with the people who are supporting you. You have to know the drainers, and the brainers. So you want the people with the brains around you, you want the people with the drains, draining you out and whatever, you just mute them with love. And I have muted even family members with love. I am an 8th born in a family of 13 with 9 men. So when I came back to this country, I am well trained in international business. I was giving advice about whether it's somebody's chicken business or whether it is somebody's, growth strategy to I don't know what. And they're like, oh, mtoto tulimchange napi juzi. What are you telling us? What are you even trying to? And you don't realize that my qualifications have placed me in a platform where I can give you some free advice. And I used to tell them, it'll come a time you can't afford me. So I have certain boundaries. One, I charge for my services. Anybody wants to judge me can judge me, but I charge for my services and I pay for my services to my brothers, to my sisters, to my cousins, to whatever. I take something from you. If you're a makeup artist, I pay you. At that point, you're my sister, Monica, or you're not. I pay you. And when I give you a service, you pay me, so that tuheshimiane, that is one thing. The other thing is when people are judging me and say a girl can't do this and a girl can't do that and whatever, just see yourself as a role model. See yourself as, when I came back and I was working in HR, I used to refuse to define myself as a HR director. I used to call myself a continent improver. I'm doing this for the continent. I'm doing this for that girl who is dreaming big, who is looking at the sky and thinks that is the limit, and I'm saying it is not. Who wants to see somebody who speaks with my accent in a leadership role at global level? I refused to start twanging and speaking like an English person or whatever. I was doing this for that girl. So this thing you have to realize is bigger than your community, bigger than you, bigger than the naysayers. And when I tell you I mute people with love, you put me in a WhatsApp group and you're not adding value to my life, I leave. Please left. Every year I prune my network. I have what is it called? An article I wrote on pruning your network. If you want, I can share with some of your members. And another one on strategic patience. Strategic patience means if you have that husband who's not helping you, if you have that friend who's a naysayer, if you have that mother who has written you off, have strategic patience and make sure all your moves are very strategic. When you produce results, at least I can tell you from where I'm sitting today. And when I was coming through that pathway, it was very hard. But when you have produced results, you will be amazed, Monica, at the people who start respecting you, who start calling you, who start saying, no, I'm not having this meeting until my younger sister, who, by the way, is an expert, attends. Can I have her look through that contract before I sign? Can I have her just speak to you over the phone and really know what you're talking about? That is how now my family, all the naysayers, they will not make a foot forward. They will not have a meeting or whatever when I'm not sitting on the table. So just prove with your results. Close your ears a little bit. Don't be calling everybody every time. Some things don't tell people what you're doing. Let them see the results rather than the journey. Because with the journey and whatever, they will try and pull you back. And as I said, keep double checking with your board of directors, people who've been through that route, and see whether they feel you're in the right direction. And if they feel that, then fine. Finally, do not take advice from people who are unskilled in that space. I want to open a salon. I am running to my friend Annette, who is in security. As much as I love her, I am opening a salon. I want to speak to people who've opened salons in this area. There's something they'll give me. As much as I want to ask my mother on whether I should take an engineering course or not, she will tell me what I want to hear, but she cannot advise me on engineering. I need to speak to somebody who's done engineering, seen it, they know the salaries, they know the spaces, they know the challenges, they know the what. So please, my final response is get skilled advice. Those people who are naysayers have anxieties for lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. So go to the people who know and people who understand, and they can help you propel through. The right voices for the right things. Thank you.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Number one, mute with love. Sarah, you're just, the way you package your words. Mute the people that are just distracting you with love. I think that's a powerful one. I once read a quote that said, you need to have enough faith in what you want to do that is bigger than everyone else's disbelief. Yeah. So I think really this is what you're telling us, that you need to actually believe in yourself. And those noises, you just shut them off. All right. Thank you very much for that answer. I'm going to go to the next question, which is going to Kemuma. Kemuma, I hope you're there. Somebody is asking, after you take a diploma program or a certificate program or a higher diploma program, when you join the university, do you join the first year or the second year? So I think this is a question of credit transfers. Over to you.
Thank you, Monica, for that question. Let me say this, that first of all, universities reserve the right for admission at whatever stage that they feel that they should admit a student based on academic documents that you present. There are those who will choose to go back to, yes, you have a diploma. There are those who will choose to go back to the specific subjects that you had in Form 4. But when you pursue a diploma course from KICJ, you will be admitted at first year in the university. The reason being, well, in 2013, we had the Tibet authority come into board, and we had Tibet regulations 2015. And those ones nullified, the regulations nullified collaborations where, institutions would collaborate with universities so that they can be able to offer credit transfers to their students. We had a collaboration with Egerton University where you'd get credit transfers, at least for 6 units at a diploma, for 7 units, sorry. We had a working arrangement with Evalyne Kemuma University where you would start at a 2nd year to pursue your degree program. But because of the nullification of the collaborations, that was put on hold. However, there are still institutions, universities that would admit you, but as for now, as the law goes, you will start from a 1st year.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. She has said it. Universities reserve the right of admission, but that does not limit you in terms of preparing yourself, for that admission. I always say, from where I sit, there's nothing as bad as the opportunity is there, but you don't have the right papers. All right. So you do that diploma and apply for that degree. And the academic board that sits to evaluate papers always consider what you've been able to do. I have a background in that area, and I can tell you that criminology was an area before that people would not really pay attention to. Right now, it's hot cake because security has traversed all sectors. COVID-19 has come to remove the myth that security is at the gate. Yes, security is everything from health, yes, to business, yes, to how we do things every day. So because of that, then let's position ourselves in terms of academic qualifications. If you need to professionalize, yes, in security or any other area, then make sure you go and get that extra paper so that when you're in that meeting, then you have what it takes. No one will question your authenticity, not what you're doing. Thank you very much. I think those were, the questions that had not been addressed. The rest, the speakers have been able to answer in their explanations. I just wish to highlight at this moment that as WISE, we are very excited for having this first session. We are having a host of activities this year, and I'm going to let Annette talk about what we have planned for you in this month. But we are having a diversity and inclusion quiz in April 22nd. And we are going to be highlighting to you some of the requirements for you to participate. Let's be the drivers of diversity and inclusion. Let's be the people who are fighting for the women's space, even in corporate organizations, so that the mindset changes. And I want to appreciate all the men who have joined the session today. Yes, you are the male champions that we're looking for, because this conversation is actually authentic. Yes, so that when it's being done by all genders. Yeah, when women are talking about positioning by themselves, yes, it gets a little mileage. But when the men are there and they also see we have that psyche, that energy to be on the same level, then when it comes to these positions, they are there to also say, yes, let's do this, let's partner in this following ways. So I take this opportunity to appreciate that, and I hand over to Annette.
Thank you so much, Monica, and of course our wonderful panelists and all the people who have sent questions. And I'm going to ask you all a question, because next week is International Women's Day, precisely on Monday. But in WISE, we don't like to celebrate a day, we like to celebrate a year. And the theme for International Women's Day this year is choose to challenge. And I just want to pose a question to all of you, viewers and listeners. What do you choose to challenge this year? What do you choose to challenge? And I'll soon go to the panelists in order to hear what they personally choose to challenge. But you're welcome to be able to type in our chat box, all the members. Kindly type into the chat box what you choose to challenge. But as we come to the near end of our program, I just want to highlight some of the things we've learned today. And number one is SMEs, small and medium excuses. I was late because I had this and for women, we believe excuses should be a getaway. My baby was, we love throwing babies everywhere because it sounds like holy ground. You should not be able to touch it. So let's avoid these small and medium excuses that just prevent us from being big. Crazy, busy, and running mad. You want to be everything for everyone. And often, sometimes they say even put yourself back on your to-do list. What am I going to do? What self-care am I going to give myself? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So crazy busy and just running mad so that you look good to everyone else because you're so busy. Don't do list. I loved that one. We have a to-do list. I can assure you I have like a 1,000 for myself. But I don't do list? What is this that I purpose not to do this year? And for me, the biggest struggle has been to say no. And this year I'm boldly saying no. I'm saying no to board position offers because I just don't have the time to be able to serve on all boards possible in the country. I'm saying no to some family events, not because I don't love you, but because that the little time I have to rest, I want to maximize it. So I want to grow my don't do list and be bold about it. And love the way Purity mentioned that security industry is an elephant, is a big cake, is an elephant. And there are so many opportunities, but we only see one small bit, which is the boots. Where are the heels? Where are the minds? Where are the lawyers? Where are the HRs? Where are the accountants? Where are the forensics? Where are the cybersecurity experts? Where are the trainers? And I love that there's a course on offer that Sarah mentioned should be a must, a TOT, trainer of trainers. Stop putting the elephant effort for most results. We are all guilty of that. It should be mouse effort for elephant results, working smart versus working hard. Something that has eaten us all, men and women alike. You should be willing to lead through pain. In these boots and heels, I can assure you, 5 hours in heels, and the cutest heels for that matter, will give you some nice blisters. Those 24 hours in boots, up in Northeastern, in that heat, will give you blisters. But there is a reward to that pain. Attitude change, grit, and there's a request to someone who has made on grit, and they have asked if you can be able to type in the name of the author, Sarah, for that. Support networks. And we love to learn that support networks have been the backbone for everyone. And if you've not gotten it, you've suffered the leash of not maximizing your full potential, simply because you didn't tell your husband that, honey, I love you, but I cannot cook every lunch, dinner, and breakfast for you and all the family members. But guess what? I will be able to do and do it excellently. You know, I love the fact that you have a hire chef unapologetically, and you're able to attend to your visitors. Often you want to say, you know, I made that chapati. It took me 7 hours. Nilikanda na nikaacha imarinate for this long. Versus the conversation and the value of the conversation you're missing. And most importantly, about free labor. Feeling guilty to charge for professional time, even within ourselves as wives. Someone comes for free work. You know, I'm your friend. You know, I'm your member. Free. We do not value ourselves. We do not value each other's time. And Kemuma reinforcing the importance of academics, that you can actually start. I would be so happy to hear that my security officers have started at a certificate level, have gone to diplomas, and they're having their degrees, and they're having their postgraduate or their PhDs. And Kemuma has made it so plain and simple that it is possible, whether you are doing distance learning, whether you are doing part-time, whether you're doing full-time, or whether they're coming to your various institutions. And the fact that security is not just limited to security alone. There is also the professional development part, where I know I have my strengths, but guess what? I also have gaps that I can be able to address through professional career development. So very quickly, back to my panelists, and for our very honorable team today of members who have been present. International Women's Day is on Monday, and we are celebrating. And the theme this year is I choose to challenge. So as Annette, I want to say that I choose to challenge women to be able to pursue non-conventional careers. I want to see more of my own cadets as the mobile response team, catching that thief in the middle of the night because they've undergone the training that is there. I choose to challenge us to take up non-conventional careers. So I want to start with Purity. Purity, what do you choose to challenge this year?
Annette, that's a very good way to end this session. I choose to challenge every woman in here, every woman in the security sector to invest in themselves. There is nothing as rewarding as having invested in yourselves so that when opportunities come, you stand to be counted. You cannot be a jack of all trades. You need to be known for something. So, and I also want to challenge our women to take on the corner offices. They are there, they are available. There are a lot of challenges that Sarah has talked about and how to navigate around it. Please let us take those offices and of course, shatter the ceiling. Annette.
Thank you. Thank you for challenging the women, and thank you for asking us to invest in ourselves. It's not a cost, it's an investment. Over to you, Kemuma.
Of course, Annette, thank you. I would like to challenge, or I'll choose to challenge every woman to speak up for the sake of mental wellness. All of us can do all these things that we have been able to discuss here. We have the zeal, we have the right channels, we have the right support system, but if we are not well mentally, then all that will go down the drain. I choose to challenge women to know that it is okay not to be okay. I choose to challenge women to speak up on postpartum depression, because some of these things affect us as women. And for us to continually grow professionally and academically, then we need to find a way to be able to be able to sort out these things. And it is very okay for us not to be okay, but it is also okay for us to seek help when we need help. Annette.
Thank you, Kemuma. And it is the assumption of the woman that you'll carry the whole world. Mm-hmm. You carry your family, you carry your work, you carry your relatives, you carry your neighbors, you carry the chama's burdens. Mm-hmm. And all that weight comes and lies on you. And what most people don't know is even the counselors themselves need counselors. And even when they carry these burdens, it is an ethical and regulatory requirement that they also have somebody who they go and download to. But in our culture, looking weak, feeling tired, just losing it has become an issue. And it's one of the key things that we want to focus on and as WISE this year, which is mental health. And you said it perfectly. It is okay not to be okay. We often criminalize and just demonize women suffering post PTSD. Mm-hmm. You've given birth, you don't understand why you don't love yourself, you don't love your baby. And people just say, this woman is so selfish. What people don't understand is that you are not mad to be in Mathare. You need love and you need attention, and there are interventions and places to help. And may WISE be one of those places. Thank you so much, Kemuma. Over to you, Sarah. What do you choose to challenge?
Thank you so much, Annette. Thank you, Evalyne, Purity, all my fellow panelists. I am challenged by the things that you have shared with the ladies today. So one of the things that I'm saying I would love to challenge people is, first of all, be comfortable with wealth. Be comfortable with quoting without blinking an eye. Whether you're quoting for your salary, whether you're quoting for a service, whether you're quoting to whoever. And if I then give it for free, you understand the value. Never lose your value. I challenge you. That 160 hours that I told you about, go and calibrate what your value is. When you meet Sarah next time and I ask you, how much are you worth per hour? Please, you need to know that at the tip of your fingers. I am challenging you that no is a good word that we need to start using. No is a good word. It's not a taboo word. So say no. Say no when you're overstretched. Say no when you're overwhelmed. Say no when you're not comfortable. Say no when it's against your values. Depth. Ladies, let me tell you one thing. Many times we go into this diversity circle wanting to be a tick or a flower girl. When you enter that board, everybody expects you to deliver and deliver results. So you come in with your red lipstick, high heels and everything, and I love all that. I'm a girl's girl. But when I sit, I have depth. You want to talk about frameworks? I understand them. I don't tell you from the shallow level. I'll tell you the history, multidimensional uses of them. I have depth. 4 a.m., get up and read. I have a library. I keep building myself so that in my area, I know that I know that I know that I know. I can talk for 3 days non-stop and I don't need slides. Know that you know your stuff. Have depth. Don't think these roles are just there for us to be given and whatever. Work for it. Stay on it. Challenge you for depth. I challenge you to take pride in your USP, your unique selling points. People tried to tell me to have an accent. People told me to refine myself and stop using my hands when I'm training. People told me all sorts of things. They told me I'm too African for audiences, and now they pay to listen to me in London. Be who you are. Don't be a photocopy of anything or anyone else. You know, I'm the only one I see in panels who is always like, I want to jump out of my, but that is me. The energy in me is what draws the people who listen to me. So be proud of who you are and have your unique selling point. And finally, I challenge you today to reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to Annette, to Monica, to Purity, to Evalyne, to anybody. When you see a woman that you just feel has drawn you in, and not all of us will draw you in, but there are some who draw you in. It's okay to get no, but at least you tried. Failure is not trying. So I challenge you today, reach out. Whether it is to that giant or whatever in your field, reach out. You might just get a yes. Thank you very much. Over to you, Annette.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love the fact that you say, come on, woman. You know, as women in security, let's be honest, you're still in a male-dominated circle, and you're expected to come in the darkest of suits and the most quiet of hairstyles, huh? Because for some reason, you'll just not be taken seriously. And I love what Sarah has said, come all woman, from lipstick to high heels to boots. What matters is the depth. So you can imagine Annette with her yellow hair. I still deliver results. And I'm so proud and challenged by that. And the USP, the unique selling point. I do hope that one day we'll have a session where everyone, you're going to teach us, Sarah, how to do the USP. You're going to guide us towards even the elevator pitch. I remember I attended one of your coaching sessions at FKE. We were doing the Female Future program. And one of the things I struggled even when I left that whole program was just the elevator pitch. And it took me like a whole year to be able to get my elevator pitch. And I'm not saying that I'm any special. I'm imagining that we are all in the same place. So what is our unique selling point? And what would be that attention that would be able to grab somebody within minutes? And know your stuff. You can't run away from it, ladies. You will ask, the door will be opened. What matters is when you sit there, what are you going to deliver? Are we still going to be flower girls, where you are called to tick a box that there's 1/3 in the room, there's 1/3 on this board, we have called the women in this meeting, even this training had 1/3. And finally, there's no results to show. There's no impact left. There is no mark that you will say, as Annette, I know I left this and I will be remembered for it. And for that reason, I'm going to encourage and motivate others. And reach out, whether you're going to reach out to a man, a woman. I am a product of so many male champions. And actually this year, I choose to challenge myself to go back and remember from nursery school to university, who are the men who have contributed to my journey and who have made me who I am. And I say a big thank you. Reach out. Because for me, I didn't find many women in this space. We were discussing that with Monica. It was a very lonely space before we found each other, before WISE was formed, before some of these associations and these events happened. But for sure, there are so many men who continue to stand with me, who continue to ask me to go and apply for that board position because they know I can deliver, even when I have shadows of doubt. There are those men who have forwarded my CV without me knowing, only to be called. So let us reach out. Thank you all so much. I'm going to hand over to Monica, who's now going to close the session. We really wanted to finish on time, spot on at 4 o'clock. Thank you. You have been amazing panelists. God bless.
Thank you, Annette, for that wrap. I think you've really captured what the panelists have been able to share with us. I will really want to give a vote of thanks, but there's a question here, Sarah. Before I close, I think if I don't ask you, I'm going to do some people disservice. So allow me to just throw back one more question your way. How do you deal with men who are threatened by career women, especially in the corporate space? These are colleagues you're with in the office every day. You have people who are malicious. They don't even hide it. They make your life a living hell. Some of them are your bosses. Some of them are your line managers. As a woman who is focused, as a woman who is determined not to resign because of undue pressure, not to go home because some man is just making your life miserable in the office, how do you deal with some of these challenges as we close? Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much. For me, maybe because I grew up with 9 men, you know, I told you earlier, I was a girl among boys. And I was brought up, if you check YouTube, as I said, really go and watch that story. I was brought up by a father, not a mother. So I found out that men are allies, but men are very emotional. And how they show their emotion is through these anxieties. CEOs have anxieties, leaders have anxieties, all sorts of men have different anxieties, and society doesn't allow them to project their anxieties through expressing themselves verbally. So they express themselves in this bullying or irrational behavior sometimes. So what I have tended to do is to ensure that actually we, just hold on, please. Just hold on, hold on. Can you hear the frying in my chicken, in my kitchen? Chicken is frying in my kitchen. So, and it's being fried by a man. So, let us just ensure that actually we meet those anxieties, find out what they are. Because I teach emotional intelligence, I am able to go beyond pain. By the way, there's something called the pain principle. Hurting people tend to hurt others. Anxious people tend to bully others. Cowards tend to manipulate. So when you know those truths, you know that this behavior is just an indicator of something else underlying. And so I come in not as a threat. You know, the way we were taught that women empowerment thing, come in and push back and deal with them and whatever. No. Actually, I found that kindness and explanation and results transforms people. And you know, men are not like women. They're not people who catch and hold. They are just, they might be suspicious. And once you prove that you're the right apple, you know your stuff, you're adding value, they let you be. You become one of the gang. So as I said, I don't give those two excuses. They worry, oh, will you be there in meetings? Will you use that feminine excuse? Will you use children? Will you do this? Will you do? Now they started coming to me and finding out that I'm a formidable force. I'm a great friend. They can talk to me about multiple issues. I can add value to many areas of their life and their profession and everything. So we became buddies, just like with women as well. When you find that maybe female boss of yours who is just harsh on you and whatever, remember the pain principle: hurting people hurt others, cowards manipulate people, and irrational people are actually bullies. So when you start working on what are you anxious about? What about me makes you so anxious, Monica? You know, when somebody asks you that, you start having a solid conversation. What is it I've done, or what is it that, you know, I say or do so that we can find a common ground? And consistently stay factual. When you're dealing with men, stay factual. Don't run around with multiple stories or whatever. Address things there and then don't keep them and let them fester. And I'm telling you, you will find that person that you're saying, people who don't want you or anything, they can actually turn around and support you. So you also don't need to project fear, and you don't need to look. There's a difference, I always say, between an enemy and an adversary. An enemy has turned their heart away from you. and they will do anything even to mess you up. But an adversary is simply challenging your stance, challenging your gender, challenging your productivity and your results. And it's easy to transform an adversary to an ally by addressing those issues they are worried about or suspicious about. So that is the route I have used with men. I don't take them on like, you know, let's go for a fight and everything. I'm just like, what is it about me that just rubs you the wrong way? Can we have a conversation? I'll buy you lunch. Tell me, I'll take whatever it is and I'll explain myself, and let us look at having a mutually comfortable whatever to move forward. I have dealt with even bigger lions with that conversation, and we have transformed and worked together well.
Thank you, Sarah. I think you have just been able to just put it in a very, very simple way that people have underlying issues and they project them to the wrong people. And you might be that person. I once told a friend of mine, actually she was a receptionist, she would get very anxious if the boss does not say hi to her in the morning. So whenever the boss would pass and he doesn't say hi, she'd be like, "What? Today's a bad day." And one day she expressed that fear and she told me, "No, whenever so-and-so passes and doesn't say hi to me, I have a very bad day, because either I've done something wrong," and I'm like, "Why do you think that? Maybe they just have issues at home and they don't feel like saying hi to you. It has nothing to do with you. So why are you burdening your whole day because somebody did not say hi to you? Probably it has nothing to do with you, and here you are stressing the whole day." So let's be able to look at things from those perspectives, that sometimes people have issues, but when they are transcending to areas that are serious, talk about it. Find out, put it on the table in a nice way, and see how you can be able to move on. I want to give this chance to Kemuma. I want to give each panelist just one thing to say, to give a parting shot so we can conclude. Kemuma, on to you.
Thank you, Monica. We are all striving to achieve career growth and professional development, which is a good thing. And my advice to us is, even as we continue eyeing those positions and those opportunities, let us acquire the right papers. Not only papers, but the right papers. Because sometimes some of us go to a River Road and acquire a paper simply because they've seen a job advert for a promotion, and that promotion requires a particular paper qualification, and they acquire that paper. Employers have always gone back to institutions to do verification, and I'm speaking that from experience. So as women, as we strive to get there, let us acquire the right papers, because of course it is next to impossible for us to acquire those opportunities if we don't have the right papers. I also want to encourage all of us to take academic programs. Learning is an eternity affair. It's an eternity affair. And we cannot say that we have finished, or you've gotten to a master's level, a degree level, or a PhD level, and you stop there. No, because of the dynamics that are happening in this world, everything, every day new things come up. Let us take that particular step and go forward. And the most important thing, find a balance. Work, family, life. Find a balance. It's challenging, but try and look for a support system that will help you. Take advantage of employee assistance programs that are offered in your organization. Find the balance and move forward. Thank you, Monica.
Purity, your parting shot.
Thank you, Monica. My parting shot is, as we aspire to grow in our careers, all of us ladies, please identify where you are in your career, identify where you want to go, and then decide how you're going to get there. Very important, because as we continue in the work world, things are changing. If we don't do that, then we'll take jobs for the sake of taking jobs, instead of, taking jobs that are aligned to our career aspirations. Thank you. Monica.
Thank you, Purity, for that. Sarah, your parting shot.
Thank you, Purity. One is every woman here should really invest in themselves. Every year, improve your skills, especially your skills of articulating yourself and negotiating. Knowledge, your experiences, your exposures, expose yourself, travel, do whatever, and get a mentor or a coach or a personal board of directors. And when it comes to how we are raising men, let's stop complaining about men. Let's stop complaining about equality. If in our homes, it is us, whether it is the mother who really has an impact on the boy's behavior. So start raising men who respect women's strength. If a woman will earn more than them, if a woman will do better than them or whatever, it should not become an issue. It is you, the mother, who is raising this boy, and then later you start complaining. Raise a man who can communicate and express himself well. Raise a man who has father figures and mentors around him. That is my parting shot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You have been told by our panelists, yes, you have all what it takes to make a difference in your life. As we come to an end, we are having a diversity and inclusion quiz happening in April 22nd. And this is a drive to ensure that we have a change of mindset on how people look at diversity. And we have opportunities for corporate teams and individual participants where we're going to be having it's going to be a competitive, blood-thrilling event. So please mark your calendars, get in touch with us so that we are able to prep and be ready for that very important event. As we come to the end, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for taking your time to just attend this session. We don't take it for granted. We know you have other things to do, but you chose to sit in and get to listen about career advancement and what challenges as women we face. I also take this opportunity to appreciate the men. Actually, I wish they could raise their hands because we feel so privileged to have you on board. That you sit here as colleagues, as fathers, as brothers, those men who stand beside us to be able to encourage us to move forward. Like Annette says, I am a daughter of a father who has encouraged me to be as old as I am. I'm a product of bosses who've encouraged me. There was a time, let me just give a short story. There was a time I was sent to a meeting at the university. It was a council meeting, and I was sent by my boss to go and represent him. And I was seated next to the vice chancellor who has signed my degree. And I couldn't believe I'm seated on the same table with a vice chancellor whose degree is on my certificate. And I was so scared. And my boss told me, Monica, you have all what it takes. Yes, that man has nurtured you to become a boss. You can sit on the same table with him. Go for the meeting. And I did. So those encouraging messages that you're told by your bosses, by your colleagues, that you can do this, go ahead and you can do it. We appreciate our men in our lives. You are the sound at the back of our heads that keeps giving us that energy. And we are saying we need you now, we need you always. So thank you very much for gracing our event. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the Governing Council of Women in Safety Excellence for continuously giving us the opportunity to be able to get out there, to get to help more women be able to understand who they are. And to the WISE members, for always being our champions, we say thank you. Yes, and all those ladies who aspire to be members of WISE. Yes, I want to share our contacts there very quickly so that you can be able to reach out. We are open for membership. Annette said membership is only 5,000 shillings. We are on a discounted period because of COVID-19. For corporate, it's 20,000 shillings. For individual members, it's 5,000 shillings. Plug in. Yes, you've been told by our panelists, you cannot do anything alone. Network. This only happens when you're in groups, when you're able, there's a way in which when you're in groups, you achieve more. So let's plug in, let's not be shy. The men don't shy. Men don't shy. That's why they're always ahead of us. They're bold and they take that risk. And we need to stop being these women who are always waiting. Let me wait and see what they do, then I'll join in. No, let's be these people who are able to go ahead and just keep the faith and just run with it. And then we see where we head from here. This is a great year for WISE. We appreciate friends. Sarah, we appreciate your love. Yes, we cannot overemphasize how much you've been able to hold our hand. And we're actually hoping to plug in to your programs this year and get more participants being able to understand who they are and how to be able to brand themselves. So I take this opportunity to say thank you and to close this session. Yes, and to tell all of you that indeed the sky is the lower limit. We are our only limitation. Thank you very much.